All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. This is how I'm going to be approaching the week and trading the week of December 8th to the 12th, 2025. If you guys want to catch up on everything I'm doing throughout the week and stay updated and, trade at VC and, just see in-depth videos, trade recaps, all that stuff like that where I don't show on YouTube, go check the link in the pinned comment for the link to the Discord. If you guys need a link to Alpha Futures, link is in the pinned comment as well. Everything else in the description, go check that out and let's get right into this. So again, this is how I'm going to be trading the week of December 8th to the 12th, 2025. I'm going to show you guys the areas that I have marked out on my charts, and then we're going to get into the news really quick and how I'm going to be approaching day by day. So we're going to start on the higher time frame, kind of work our way down. Basically, starting on the monthly, we're still obviously in bullish order flow. We had a bearish close on the November candle here, but we're still maintaining overall bullish order flow. As you can see, this monthly candle, we took out some higher time frame sell side liquidity. We actually tapped into a very small monthly bullish fair value gap and that weekly gap. If you guys watched my weekly outlooks previous. But overall, we're still maintaining bullish order flow. We look on the weekly, and again, I'll show you guys that weekly gap I was talking about. We had these two stacked up gaps. We swept out this sell side. We swept out this weekly low right here, and we had that immediate bounce to the upside. And our weekly is actually still maintaining good bullish order flow. We had two strong weekly bullish closes back to back right here, and we're still maintaining overall bullish order flow. Now, what do I have marked out over here? I'm just marking out the areas that are most relevant to us. So at this point right now, in terms of the weekly draws, I have my all-time high marked out. I have my previous week's high and the previous week's low marked out in terms of weekly draws. Now we go down to the daily. And obviously, we've been having a consistent bullish push since about Friday, November 25th. So we've had an extended push to the upside, and we really haven't had a retracement back down. We've broken structure to the upside. Our daily is in bullish order flow, but as you can see, we are leaving behind a lot of low resistance sell side liquidity. Like if you draw like a trend line on this, like you can really see all this built up sell side liquidity, which is eventually going to get run through. We just have to kind of determine what areas that it could reverse off, but in terms for that to happen, right? So a couple scenarios I'm looking at, but basically just know that our higher time frames are all in bullish order flow. And what I have marked right now, this is all I have marked on my higher time frame chart. I have my all-time high, I have this daily high right here, and I have previous week's high right here, and above previous week's high I have this daily bearish fair value gap, and we actually have another small daily high resting right here from Wednesday, November 5th, right below it. So we do have kind of relative equal highs leading into that that daily fair value gap right there. And then in terms of sell side, I have this daily low right here. I just forgot to write it, but this is just a small daily low. We have previous week's low, and then we have this daily bullish fair value gap over here. Now if we look at ES, I'll glance at ES really quick, even though this is majority NQ. I forgot to mark it, but it's exactly the same things we're pretty much looking at. Again, we had that sweep of that weekly low off that weekly gap. We would mark out our previous week's high, our previous week's low, all-time high. We have pretty much the exact same draws in liquidity. We have this daily high right here. We just don't have that gap, but it's pretty much the exact same scenario. We have this daily bullish for value gap right here. So just pretty much it's the exact same draws pretty much. So if you guys seen on Monday, I was talking about last week how we wanted to see what would happen in these daily bullish fair value gaps right here. And obviously at the beginning of the week, we tapped into the daily bullish fair value gap after manipulating the high, and we continued to the upside, and we continued to put in bullish order flow. So what am I looking at this week? So I'm going to go over both scenarios that I'm looking at. Obviously, I'm not going to predict exactly what's going to happen, but I'll give you guys just some potential scenarios to watch out for. And as long as you guys have these areas like marked out on your charts, you'll be able to watch and see how price reacts. But these are the key areas that I have marked out that are relevant this week as of right now. So as you can see, as I mentioned, we have relative equal highs leading into this daily gap. We have obviously the previous week's high, and we have this small daily high right here. So if we manipulate higher to begin the week, and we take out the previous week's high, we sweep out this daily high, and we tap into this daily gap, I really want to be paying attention to what's going to happen in this daily fair value gap. If we reject from here, we could potentially be seeking a big move down towards previous week's low to sweep out some sell side, maybe potentially even down into that daily fair value gap, and then maybe we get that continued move up from there. So that could be scenario number one if we manipulate higher. And scenario number two, obviously, if we come up, we take out those draws and liquidity to the on buy side, we flip this gap, we retest it, we inverse it, then we could potentially be seeking back to all-time highs, and we readjust our buys from there. So if we manipulate higher, like I said, we have relative equal highs leading into this daily gap. If we want to manipulate higher, we really need to pay attention to what happens in this daily gap. If we get a rejection and a shift in order flow from bullish to bearish, we could seek down to take out sell side. And what will we be targeting? We'd be targeting first, this daily low, we'd be targeting previous week's low if we get below this low. And then from there, we could be even trading into this daily fair value gap. So if we come up, we reject, we could seek lower. Those are the draws on liquidity. Obviously, this would be a key target. This would be a main target right here, the previous week's low. And then this gap would just be, the last line of defense before we really start to dump right from there. If price comes up and inverses this daily gap, what are we going to be seeking out? We're going to be seeking out, obviously, this daily high and all-time high. And it really depends what happens with news, what happens with the sentiment of the market. So you can't really predict, but those are the two scenarios where if we manipulate higher first. Now, if we want to manipulate lower first, what can we do? Well, we could come down and we could sweep out some sell side. Maybe we come down, take out this low. We could seek out the previous week's low, whatever. Maybe we come down, we seek out previous week's low for some shorts, come into this gap, and then we could maybe seek reversals to the upside, back towards our buy side, from there, right? This could be another scenario right here. Maybe we manipulate below the lows. We could catch shorts down to previous week's low. If order flow is maintained bearish, maybe price comes down into this daily fair value gap. We get a nice reversal trade off of this gap, right? So that could be a potential short scenario. So for me, obviously, you have to keep in the back of your mind that order flow is bullish. So we want to be maintaining kind of that. You don't want to be just trying to catch a top, because that's what a mistake a lot of people make. They're going to be trying to catch tops and trying to short because they see all this built up liquidity. But you have to remember that, weekly's bullish. We just swept out a weekly low. We are close to all-time highs, and daily is maintaining bullish. So again, if we manipulate higher, we come into this daily gap, we really need to pay attention to what happens in this gap. If we get a nice shift from bullish to bearish, we could potentially be seeking out our sell side draws and liquidity. And if we come into this daily gap and we flip it, we could be seeking back to all-time highs. That is for the manipulation higher first. But if we continue down, we could potentially be seeking out, our sell side draws if order flow is maintained bearish. And then we could seek reversals off of previous week's low or this daily gap, something like that. And then we could look to trade back to the upside. So those are the scenarios I'm looking at, guys. Again, I'm eyeing more bullish as of right now, just because order flow is bullish and I don't want to be trying to catch tops. But main ideas and main areas we're looking at really is this previous week high and this daily gap. That's my main area I really want to be watching what price does in this area. And then for sell side, I really want to be paying attention to what happens if we get down to previous week's low. Again, if we start trading below this daily low right here, then I'm most likely going to be looking to target previous week's low. And then from there, we can reassess and see if we want to seek reversals from there. But main areas, again, here and here, that's what I'm really looking at. And then ES is pretty much the exact same scenario. And then in terms of like a longer term, not longer term, but if we start to inverse this daily gap down here, whenever that happens, and if that happens, then I'd be looking to trade all the way down to this weekly low. But keeping it in the short term, for now, we're going to be really watching what happens up here and what happens towards previous week's low in this little range right here, this from this week. So we're going to be paying close attention to that. Be watching out for SMTs that could form, anything like that. We'll be taking the lower time frame day by day and seeing what happens. So again, keep these areas marked down on your charts, keep an eye on them, and those are the ideas I'm looking at. So starting off for the news, we're starting off on Monday. On Monday, we have a no news Monday. So for me on this Monday, just because this past week we pretty much had a very choppy week overall. Friday wasn't that bad, but again, December price action, I'm not trying to go crazy on the risk, so I will be just sticking to eval on Monday because we do have a pretty busy week in terms of news. So on Monday, I will be sticking to eval and kind of saving my capital for the rest of the week. Now we go over to Tuesday. On Tuesday, we have ADP weekly employment change, which is tentative, and then at 10 a.m. we have JOLTS job openings. So what am I going to be doing? We're going to be trading the 10 a.m. kind of protocol that I have. If we don't catch something close to market open by like 9:45 or 9:50, then we'll be waiting for that 10 a.m. news to pass. We'll reassess from there and we'll trade. But Tuesday will be a trading day. I'll be trading pretty much normally, and I'll be ready to go. Just waiting, again, like I said, close to market open. And if we don't catch anything, we'll wait for the news and go from there. On Wednesday is a heavier news day. Of course, we have employment cost index at 8:30, and then at 2 we have federal funds rate, FOMC, and then the press conference at 2:30. So I'm going to be trading normally at market open, but my goal on this day is to kind of trade like is like, how do I explain this? Like, not right at market open, but I'm trying to catch something as early in the session as I possibly can, because the longer the session goes on, the more the volume's kind of going to die off in anticipation of the FOMC event. So for me, it will be a normal trading day. I will be de-risking on this day, but I will be trading. But main idea is to kind of get in and out of the market as fast as I possibly can, because it's going to be an eventful PM session. But normal trading day, pretty much, just slightly de-risked and just trying to be in and out. Thursday will be a normal trading day. Unemployment claims, 8:30. This will be a normal trading day going in at market open. And Friday, we have no news. And this is really going to depend how I trade this and how price action looked on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If we had a solid week of price action and, market opened up and it looks good, I'll be trading. I'll probably just be slightly de-risking, but I will be trading. But if price action was pretty bad all week, we just had a chop fest all week, I'll just be sticking to eval. But regardless, I will be on the charts this day. So that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Keep these areas marked down on your charts. And, follow me on TikTok. I'll give you guys some updates on anything that changes. And same within the Discord. So that's it for me. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.